All right, let's do it. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday evening. Hope you guys are doing really well. Thanks for all those that have shared in the chat. Super excited about tonight. It is end of month, so I wanted to spend a little bit of time just really quickly about talking about the importance of end of the month, especially to our relatively new people inside the team. Often people ask me, why is end of month so important? I think there's a couple of things that happen at the end of the month. There's definitely a great opportunity to just take your belief to the next level. I think often when we're looking at the last couple of days of the month, one of the things that I love is that over the next couple of days, that many of you guys here have the opportunity to get a pay rise before the end of the month. And some of you guys also have the opportunity to maybe put some extra bonus dollars in your account. The last thing that I always love to get excited about is that whatever you get done in the next couple of days, knowing that our Juice Plus payday is the 10th of the month. Remember, whatever you can get done in the next 48 hours, end of business on Wednesday, if you guys are here in Australia and New Zealand, about 5 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. Maybe someone can correct me on that, but I'm going to guess it's around 4 or 5 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time. That is on the 1st of the month. We run on a US calendar, so we do get that extra day up our sleeves. Remember, whatever you can get done, it means if you can able to jump from partner to partner plus, even to senior partner, maybe even help some people get there and get to sales coordinator, is that you're literally going to get paid more for every order that goes through your business in the following month. So I just want to get your heads around that. We've got a jammed packed session again tonight before we get into it. So one of the things I wanted to explain to you guys really quickly, when we all first start out in our business, we start out as a partner. When you first start out as a partner inside the Juice Plus company, you guys got to understand that you get paid 3 ways. Remember, the first way we get paid in our business is what we call retail sales profit. We get paid retail sales profit when we share the products, even when we order our own products. Another great reminder why to order products. Remember, you get money back on your own, even on your own products. Retail sales profit, this is at the partner level, it's 10%. 10% is what you get paid at partner level. Remember, in the beginning, you get paid 2 ways, first 2 ways. The first is retail sales profit. The second way we get paid is bonuses. The cool thing is once you're able to get to partner to the next level, which is called Partner Plus, you're going to open up this first bonus. Remember, it's 1,300 points to do that. It's often your order plus maybe 2 or 3 other orders, depending on what you and your team order, will get you to that next level, Partner Plus. Once you get there, not only are you going to unlock a nice little $100 to $150 bonus, but you're also going to unlock the third way we get paid, which is retail sales profit override commission, right? It's this override commission. So you're going to get a pay rise from what you get at Partner Plus to the next level, which is an extra 5%. So you jump to 15%. If you're able to jump to the next level, senior partner, that's 3,900 points in your business in a 60-day window. This is a 30-day window. This is a 60-day window, right? Once you get there, not only are you going to jump to an extra 5%, so you're going to jump to 20% on every order that goes through your business, but you're also going to unlock a cool, that's meant to be a dollar sign, a $300 bonus, and the person who introduced you and taught you do that too. So again, often when people are here, when they're getting started, they're like, hey, I've got loads of days left in my 30 or 60 days to get these positions done. Why? It's in your interest to potentially get it done over the next 48 hours before the end of the month is over. It means that in the month of June and forever on, you're going to get paid more per order that goes through your business. So my wish for you is that you just decide to get paid more in June, and whatever it takes in the next couple of days. Maybe it's reaching out to your upline and saying, hey, you know what? I'm keen to get a promotion. I'm keen to get a pay rise and a bonus in my bank account before we get started in June. If you're someone who's excited about doing that, we're excited to help you guys. I'm super excited to have our next amazing leader on here tonight hosting our session. That is Katrina Stark. Welcome, Katrina. So good to have you here. I know you've got a new team member that's getting off to a great start. So welcome. I'm going to get out of the way and I'm going to get you to share a little bit about our getting started system. And I know you've got someone that you want to brag on about tonight.
I do. And the more that I was prepping for tonight, the more I was excited to get this beautiful woman to share. So Stace, can you just take yourself off mute, honey? That way you'll pop to the top and I'll be able to come and share screen with you. Can you see your ads? Beautiful, Stace. Now, Stacey's over in New Zealand. So she's one of our gorgeous New Zealand teamies. And I am super pumped to introduce this woman because she's such a great example of just follow the damn system. Like, it works. It's tried and proven time and time again. And when we were talking about it, we actually discovered that Stacey hit senior partner in just over 2 weeks. So I don't know if anybody else on here would like to be able to achieve that or help somebody achieve that, but I think we should tap into some of her little tips and tricks on how that managed to happen. So Stace, would you be able to share with us a little bit about how you managed to find your first couple of customers?
Yeah. So my first customers was actually my family. So I was doing the trainings and, I put up a selfie of me to get that interest going and get that connection going. And then I just said to my family, I said, hey guys, I found this wonderful, amazing thing. I'd really love it if you could support me. And in return, I can help you get amazing health. And then, so a couple of these were like my adult children. And then they were just like, yeah, sure, Mum. Yeah, sure. And so I was able to get them on board. And what that also meant was that I had a start for some really good testimonials that were my own children, because I felt that if I trusted this product so much that I put my own children and my own family on it, then everyone else has got to be able to trust me too, because everyone knows you love your children more than yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, honey. And that's basically in our guides, isn't it? We have a whole script in there. And one of the first things is just reaching out to people, even when it seems a little bit scary. It definitely paid off for you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I just reached out because you've got nothing to lose by asking. That you can no, they can say no, and then you can say, oh, come on.
Exactly. And, look, I know when we were talking a little bit about the system and you coming into this business, you mentioned that it was all outside of your comfort zone, that this wasn't just flowing naturally, which I find really interesting because you got such fast and quick results. So how did you go about following the system even when it was outside of your comfort zone?
Because I decided to go all in. I made that decision, and once I'd made the decision, any kind of fears around it just disappeared. It's like you can't dip your feet in the pool, you just got to jump in. And then once you jump in, you don't really care about what other people think, because your main focus is the goal. It's about creating health and it's about creating wealth. And if you have that goal in mind, you'll just jump straight in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love too, because we were talking about how organically your sharing is. You've just been eating up the posting guide that we've got, so consistent, just up every day, doing exactly what, the guide and the system is there to tell us to do. And I found it quite funny too, because you were mentioning before you come across this, you were actually quite a creeper on Facebook. You weren't out there every day. You were just on there scrolling through.
Not at all. I would share a photo of my children and that was it. Maybe I'd put a selfie up once a year, but I was certainly not active on social media at all. And then boom, I was out there
everywhere. And I love that too, because you brought up a really cool perspective, because I know a lot of people get in their heads when they say, I don't use social media, so it's going to look weird now all of a sudden coming up, using the 30-day posting guide or whatever it is that you've been introduced to. And Stace actually said that it worked in her favor, because all of a sudden people were really curious to see that she was popping up all the time, really consistently, and sharing the beautiful results that she got. So don't overthink it, hey?
No, that's right. And people are out there and they're looking for something,
Mhm.
and they need to know that you exist.
Mm.
They really do. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. You could be helping someone.
Yeah, I love that. That's the most important thing, isn't it? Try not to overthink. Try to get into, who might be looking that actually could say yes to this and could really get some great results. And I feel like when you come from that space, it's a lot easier to get out of your comfort zone and just, follow what you know works. So
Yeah, and I find that putting yourself out there, people, they start to trust you because we got told to put the selfie up. Well, that's what the trainings is. Show some connection, show you with your family, your selfie, maybe something that you're doing during the day. Like, I watched it all, I did it all. People trust me
Mhm.
because they see that I'm a real person, and yeah, that's what they said. They go, no, I trust you. I trust you. So that
Mhm.
was really special for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's showing. It's showing in your results. You managed to get enough volume within that time period to definitely have some nice customers under your belt. Now, another thing that I found really interesting when we were chatting about your journey to seeing your partner, you mentioned how much you really valued your customer care and how your customer care has actually had some really great perks for you. So I feel like sometimes people, they think, when I've got a whole heap of customers, I'm going to start practicing customer care. But Stacey brought up some really good points, Don. So would you like to share a little bit about what you do with your customer care and some of the really cool perks that you've noticed since you've been implementing them?
Just, I like to check in on people because a lot of my customers are my friends, and sometimes they're friends that I've talked to in the last 2 months, and sometimes they're friends I haven't actually talked to in years. So I find it's also a good way to keep in touch with people that you would think about, oh, I must message that person, but I never do. And so when they become your customer, it's a good way to be able to connect with them and say, hey, how are you going? It lets them know that you care about them, and they might have some really wonderful results to share with you. And they might just have something really nice and positive to say. And so 9 times out of 10, I'm having a conversation with them and I say, hey, would you mind if I shared that? Because I just want to help other people feel the way that you've been feeling. And they say yes. They say yes.
Yeah. And you were mentioning too that sometimes they're loving it so much that they're then ordering for, like their family members or their hubby or
Yeah.
something. So actually, by just staying in touch and practicing really good customer care, you've not only upsold, but gained a new customer out of the family.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what it's about, just, keeping in touch. And I keep a record of it. I will write down in my diary if I've touched base with people before I even get the email. Because, like I said, most of them are my friends. So I want to make sure that they're looked after well, and how I would want to be looked after, really. Make sure that the ordering is okay. I let them know when they actually have a payment coming up too. And I don't have to do that,
Mhm.
but that's just something extra that I do just so it's not a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's definitely working for you, darling. So thank you for sharing, because I feel like that's something, even me at the start of my journey, I was so terrified to actually touch base with my customers. And I know that it really worked against me. Like I was actually frightened to reach out because I was so terrified of negative feedback or anything that could, set my journey back. And I realized that it's so much easier to look after a customer than go and find a new one. So even if you've only got one, even if you're your first customer, practice really good customer care on yourself. Make sure that you understand where all of the programs, whatever you're following, the ins and outs of are, know when your payment date is, know where to find that, so that as soon as you do start getting customers, you can really implement those. And that goes to say, you might have been in the business for a long time and maybe you've got complacent on customer care. Take some inspo from Stace right now that those customers that she's been looking after are reordering for their family. You know, Adam brought up some really good points right now, that some people are really close to some fun stuff happening over the next couple of days for end of month. If you're looking for that volume, don't discredit the customers that are already inside your base. Super, super exciting. So if I can pick your brain a little bit, we've probably got some brand new people on here tonight, or people that have just introduced brand new people. What would be some of your biggest tips to getting started and starting strong?
Really go to the trainings as much as you can. Go to the Zoom meetings. I really like going to the leader Zoom meetings because I find there's just such really gold there, because it's, well, you guys are successful. And so I'll go there with my notebook. I have a whole training notebook, and I'll write down all the really good points that I need to remember. And one simple thing is like the follow-up. I hate nagging people, and if you can just get some tips on some verbiage about how to follow up. And it was you, Katrina. It was you did a follow-up Zoom meeting, so I went to that and I wrote them down. And when people just blank me, you know, you're like, oh, I really don't want to hassle them, but you said to say, hey hun, I'm sorry I haven't got back to you. Just totally puts it on the other foot.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you don't mind doing that follow-up, because you're not nagging them, and you've just come across as a really good approach. The other thing is that I'm part of a really good team, and we all share. And so if one of us is posting and there's another one of us that is running out of ideas, we all share things. So learn off your team as well. Don't be afraid to share things that they're sharing as well, because we're all in this business together. And yeah, share story ideas, love on each other's posts, and they'll love on yours as well, because all that traction really helps you get out there. And follow people that lift you up, follow people that inspire you, because that's how your posts are going to have that authentic image as well. So that would be my idea. Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that you've touched on that too, because I feel like so many of us have come out of maybe a corporate career, or even, you know, even something like retail or hospitality. Quite often it can be quite competitive, and it's every man for themselves. And I feel like we come into this really wanting to shine and really wanting to do well, but we still have the mentality that we have to perform by ourselves. And what is amazing about this is that we have a whole community, you know, whether it just be in our direct team, whether it be sideline, whether it be completely across the world, but there's a whole community here doing Juice Plus that want to see you win, that want to share tips, that have been around long enough to have some pretty cool ideas. And, you know, I just love listening to you tonight, because part of why I wanted to highlight you was, of course, you're a rock star. Like, you've done so well to put not only a $150 bonus in your bank, but a $300 bonus in your bank within 2 weeks, right? Now she's gone on, she's qualified this month, which was her first month to qualify. So she's opened up to create residual income, and she's building a business with her daughter as well, and inspiring her to go on and create a senior partner business this month. So, you know, there's some real huge wins on the board. But what I love about it is that you're just following the system. You're literally just showing up every day. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're just putting what you know works into action, even when it's a little bit uncomfortable. And it's definitely producing results. So thank you so much, darling. I really appreciate it. Have you got any final parting words that you'd like to give that you might have forgotten, or do you feel you've covered it?
I think I've pretty much covered it, but I always I sleep Juice Plus, even when I am in bed and I'm supposed to be thinking, I'm thinking numbers going through my head because I am so focused on this business. And if you're really putting it out to the universe that this is what you want, you do have to think and breathe and sleep it, because then it will happen for you.
Absolutely. We call that juicy brain.
I've got it.
It's a real term. No, I love that. I think becoming obsessed with it at a certain level, if you talk to anybody who has gone on to, produce some good income inside this pay plan and inside the business model, you'll find that there was a stage where they just become completely obsessed with this. They realized that there was some amazing results out there, not only for themselves, but to give other people as well, and become obsessed with that entire process. So thank you so much, Stace. I can't wait to see this. I know you're only just scratching the surface of your potential. So go out. I know you've got some pretty big goals still for end of month. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us, darling.
You're welcome.
Give her a big shout out, guys. Tell her how awesome she is in the comments. This is a huge thing to get up here in front of so many people, in your second month of business, right? So thank you very much, darling. All right, so I have one other beautiful team that I want to highlight tonight before I go into a little section that I'd really love to share with you. And that's another beautiful Kiwi dominating tonight is the beautiful Amira England. Are you here, darling? Hey, wow, on it. Hostess with the mostess. No ads. All right, hey, beautiful. So some of you guys may have had the pleasure of meeting Amira before. Now, this gorgeous woman has such an amazing journey in the business so far, but I really want to shoot on over to her and I want to give her some space to share her story with you. So, darling, your floor. Go for it.
Oh, just throw me in the deep end. All right. Hey, guys. As Kat said, I'm Amira. And I'm just going to share, put my phone on silent so it doesn't ding the whole way through. And then I'm just going to share with you my story and just around how I, where I was before the business, etc. So I'm Amira and I am a solo mum of 3 boys. They are 13, 6 and 3. They've all just had birthdays, so I'm trying to catch up with the new ages. And I come from a really toxic past, which included drug use. It included really bad criminal choices. It included losing my kids for a short period of time. It included a lot of toxic things, including a really toxic relationship that I was in and out of for a long space of time. As I mentioned, part of my journey in my past was, drug use. And so I decided to make a decision to get clean from drugs. And when I made that decision, I came to this I came to this realization that it was going to be really hard for me to find regular employment. And that just sat with me. I just thought that was going to be my life, to be honest. I just thought I was just going to be on the benefit until that 5 to 7 years was up and they cleaned my slate and I could go and apply for a job, because there was no way anyone was going to hire me. I am a completely different person, but on paper, I'm not. And that really sucks, but that's what it was. And so I touched on the fact that I was in a really abusive relationship too. And so the day that I actually made the decision to take this opportunity into my life, I had chose to leave him. And it had been about a 5-year relationship, really toxic. And he was still actively using for 2 years of my clean time. And so it was a really hard choice. And so I decided to put a protection order in place to keep us safe. And on that very same day, it was the last day of a blitz. And my upline came around and she's like, "You need to join this business, babe." And I was like, oh. And on my couch, and I've got Women's Refuge on the phone, and all the freaking reasons to not. I had every reason in the world to not. And there was just something in the back of my head that was like, what the fuck do you have to lose? Mind my language. But that's what it was, what did I have to lose? I was on a benefit. I didn't really have any other choices in my life at that time. I wanted to build a life for my babies. You know, like I got in, I'm getting emotional now, you know, like I got in clean for a reason, you know, like because I wanted to provide for my family. And I was like, fuck it, for $57, I may as well give it a go. And mate, I was skeptical. Like I was like, you know, like, gee, and then I got my mum to place an order and I was like, man, I hope I haven't just given all her credit card, you know. I'd done all the skeptical things when I started. And then I got that Partner Plus promotion and that $150 hitting my bank account. Like, it just changed my life, you know, like it was everything to me, and it installed in me that this was something real and that I can get paid for this, you know, like maybe this is my ticket. And in the background of this, I still had an ex that, like, I shit you not, he's only just 3 months ago, after a year and a half, stopped messaging me every single day because the police finally arrested him. You know, like this guy was harassing me constantly, and I had, you know, I had my children. My 3-year-old has never left my care. Like he has never, I mean, left my side. He doesn't go to kindy, he doesn't go to my mum's, he just chills with me. And I had all the things that were hard, but what I seen in this was an opportunity to change my life and to change my kids' life. And then I was just surrounded by this community, you know, like this community of people that wanted to see me do well. And before this, I didn't trust people a lot, if I'm being honest. You know, like I had a lot of trust issues with women as well. Like first and foremost, I had trust issues with women. I had been hurt by a lot. A lot of my friendships were really, you know, ended really difficultly. And then beyond that, just humans, you know, and this has installed my faith in that too, you know, like it just has filled my cup on every different level. It's filled my bank account too. That's always handy, right? And so I'm going to touch on that for a minute too, you know, like what it's created for my family financially means we've been able to move out of state housing. You know, like I know there's a lot of countries here and I don't know what that is in all the other countries, but you know, like state housing and like government housing where you get the cheap rent but you got the shitty neighbors, and you know, like it was one of them. And I was able to move out of that, you know, me and my children, I can provide for my kids, you know, like I can actually do it. And I used to ask my mum for money all the fucking time, you know, like who doesn't be like, oh mum, got $20, you know, and I can now pay her back. And like there's not sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, there's not sometimes I'm like, hey mum, got $20, you know, but the difference is now I pay her back. Like I have an automatic payment to my mum every week and then every month. So I've got a weekly one and then I have a monthly one on payday that's bigger to give back, you know, like what she's been paying for me for years. And like just to be able to do that is amazing, which brings me to what I want for my future and what this business is going to provide for my future. I want to give back, you know, like I want to show other women, men, people, you know, like this opportunity, no matter where you come from, whether you've come from a corporate career, you know, whether you've come from being a kindergarten teacher or a drug addict, or, you know, like it doesn't matter where you've come from. If you want to make a change in your life, you can. And so I'm so excited to have the platform to share that with people, especially people in my old circle, you know, like I've been able to drag some other woman up, and that in its own is just beautiful, you know, and just being here and, you know, like I just love everything. And I've probably gone way off topic, but I got the Juice Plus brain too. And Kate's right below me and she's making me want to put on my Juice Plus hat.
Rocket, sister. I love it. The comments are going off. And I agree. You are so damn amazing. Thank you, beautiful. I love it.
Anytime.
Rock your Juice Plus hat. I know I can always count on you to drop some F-bombs too.
And I'm so sorry. You shouldn't ask me to share if you're not prepared for it. Oops.
I love it because do you know what? You're authentic and you're you and you never apologize for it. And that's what makes you so successful. Amira is one of our SSCs. She's building for that beautiful big QNMD title. So keep an eye out for it. Pressure's on, hey babe, now that I've just publicly told everyone. So go up and give her a huge big cuddle if you see her at conference. So why I wanted to share this beautiful girl's story, like who else after hearing that has a complete level of goosebumps about how amazing our opportunity is? Yeah, you're literally like, oh my God, everybody needs to know about this, right? Because here's this beautiful, stunning woman who has gone through some circles that are less than convenient and literally could have had any other ending. Yet she signed up to our beautiful Juice Plus business. She's cleaned herself up. She's providing for her kids. She's making moves. She's actually creating a life that she never thought was possible. So it's all because of 72 New Zealand dollars over there. Well, not even, you got the cheapy deal.
I got it for $57.50, but it's $172.50, and I would pay it every week to be a part of this.
Exactly. And, you know, that's the opportunity that we can give so many other people. But what I really wanted to highlight with this beautiful woman is the power of that story. Now, Amira's obviously got one of the grandest stories. I love her story. Now, it's very real. It's very raw. And there's Amira's outside in our circle that need us to be brave about standing up and sharing our story first. Right? So thank you so much, babe. I appreciate you getting on here tonight, even when it's late. And I know you've probably got Carter there wanting you, but thank you so much. Huge love. So it's really important that we own that, guys. We own our own story. And so many of us sit there, and when we come into this opportunity, we get confused around so much how to. Right? We want to know all the ins and outs. We want to know all the knowledge. We want to know everything about the product, everything about the pay plan. And we actually overwhelm ourselves so much that we forget about our superhero power, which is our story. And what's amazing about that is every single one of us have one. Right? So I'm going to teach you a few tools tonight, which have been absolutely transformational for me and a few team on how to pull our story out and utilize it to create a little bit of curiosity, a little bit of effective, attractive marketing so that we can get some people actually asking us about our Juice Plus business. Because I don't know about you guys, but I was never looking to sell fruits and veggies in a capsule. It just was never on my radar. It was never something that I looked for. I didn't even know they existed. But I am so damn glad that Lauren shared her business story with me because it got me thinking about my own ways that I could do this as well. Now, one of the coolest things about storytelling and sharing is that you come across with a whole different energy. When you're coming from a place of trying to educate and trying to drop knowledge bombs, people can come on their front. Right? They actually step back and they turn on the skepticism in their brain because they're expecting you to convince them. So what I love about our business model and the power of our story is that we can actually capitalize on storytelling, right? We all have a reason why we joined this business and why we take the product. We can capitalize on the effect that that has on the other person's brain. Now, when we tell our story, we actually activate in the receiver a different part of their brain, which activates a deeper level of emotional understanding. So just by sharing our story, we are activating emotional understanding in the other person. I was watching your screens and everybody was like this to you, Amira. Like literally everybody just dropped what they were doing in there. Right? That must be the emotional understanding. But I could see it in everybody because she's sharing vulnerably from her heart. Now, that's entirely different from her saying, you know, you can get to Partner Plus and you get a $150 bonus, and then you can get to Senior Partner and you get a $300 bonus. And then if you teach somebody to get to Senior Partner, you get a $300 bonus, right? Nobody cares. But if she's there sharing her beauty, why she loves this, the ins and outs of her vulnerability, all of a sudden we're listening. So one of my favorite ways to break down our power and finding our gold is actually sitting down with a little bit of awareness. Because the amount of times that I get on a call with a brand new teamie and they say, I don't really have a story. And I want to call BS on it, because absolutely everybody has a story, right? So play with me here. I want you to tell me what you love most about the business benefits. Even if you're brand spanking new, what do you love most so far about this business? What has it given you? What have you seen? What are you excited about? I love this. Max, I can go to my kids' sporting events, the community. We've got a lot of community. Purpose, resources, inspiration, freedom. I love this. Money for sure. Someone's got money. Yes, I love it. Personal development, flexibility. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, what I love about all of these, if you're paying attention to the chat box right here, you'll see that there's a lot of common theme. That's not special. That's human nature, right? There's a lot of core things that a lot of people are chasing. Freedom, flexibility, more money, time with their values. Most of the time it's family, right? Our business ticks pretty much all of them, and you can start straight away, just like Amira said, without any form of degree, without any form of diploma. You can literally come in and start making moves towards these benefits, right? So what we've got to get really good at is actually sharing the benefits, sharing the parts of our story that we're excited for other people to hear about. All right, now let's switch gears and let's talk about the product. Tell me some things about the Juice Plus products that you absolutely love. Maybe the changes that you've seen in your family, the changes that you've seen in yourself, why you decided to buy them. Nourishment, energy, weight loss, better skin, energy, eyes, easy to take, healed my gut, better sleep, plant-based, whole food, how good you feel, science-backed, stabilizing blood sugars, convenience, small fruit and veg, hormones balanced, immunity, right? So many amazing benefits. Who thinks that if they shared some of these on their news feed, that people would start looking? That there might be other people out there that ears start to prick up, right? So one of my favorite things to do about the business when I'm looking at either post ideas or ways to really deepen my story is I get a blank piece of A4 paper, and in the middle, I will put either business or product, right? One page for each. Now, I personally think it's really important that you have one business story and one product story. All right, and they can't overlap. Your product has to be entirely about the product and entirely about your program and the Juice Plus company and what you've noticed there. And the business needs to be entirely business focused. Now, just off topic a little bit there, a lot of the times when I'm talking to somebody and I say, you know, tell me about why you joined the business. And they go, I just want everybody to feel as amazing as I do. I just want everybody to be able to have these products. I think they make sense. You know, I've seen amazing results, you know, and they instantly gravitate towards the product. Now, if that was the case, you would purely just be a customer and you'd just share it. You didn't join the business just because of the products, regardless of how big your heart is and how much you want to help people's health. Right? Because you can be a customer and still refer them back to your original person. You joined the business for entirely different reasons. So when we're talking about our story, I really want you to separate both categories, right? Product is purely product-based. Business is purely business-based. You came here to make money. I'm going to say that to about 95% of you, right? There's probably 5% who just came in here for the community. But a lot of you guys really, truly wanted the finances. You wanted the flexibility to create income on your own terms. You loved the network marketing leverage that you could create something now and eventually get the freedom back for the time you put in, right? That's what's different. Otherwise, you would have just went and got another job and put more hours inside your wage. But this is something that's amazing, right? It's something entirely different. So don't be frightened to talk about that. We have thousands of ambassadors just here in Australia and New Zealand. Thousands of people who wanted to create extra income. Don't be ashamed of it. Okay, so when we talk about our story, make sure that you get vulnerable with those parts of you that actually needs to create more finance and wants to have it on your terms, because it's extremely attractive to somebody else who's in a similar position but doesn't understand that network marketing exists, all right? Or that you actually can create an income online with Juice Plus. So that's a little task for you guys to do on your own. What I love is I do one of those every month. I will do a little A4 piece of paper around everything that I'm loving right now. So everything I'm loving about the business and everything that I'm loving about the product. And that's my posts for the month. When I get a little bit dry, when I can't think about what I want to do, I take one of those ideas off my A4 piece of paper around why I love this business, parts of my story, and I do a post to share it. Okay, so if you're ever struggling with social media, that's a really cool tip too. So this is my beautiful board that I made earlier, even color coordinated it for you guys so that you could see. And I've separated it into two categories. So we've got the business category and then the product category. Now, if I use Amira's story just there as an example, we used plot. Okay, so we used pain, lesson, opportunity, and triumph. Really, really cool, simple way to master. Oh no, this doesn't sound good. Is that my child? How's this? Mum life juggle. Come here. Sorry guys. Meet my 8-week-old. Hi everyone. Hello. This is part of my story, right? Feeding my child on training for the flexibility. Right? There you go. Back to it, right? So one of the biggest things that I want you guys to remember is breaking it down like this so that you touch on everything that's powerful in your story, okay? Because one of the biggest things that I see is people are really happy to talk about one or the other. But if you listen to Amira's story right there, what was really powerful is that she actually touched on every single part of her journey. Parts that were probably a little bit embarrassing, or parts that at some stage held a little bit of shame in her life. Right? So have a think right now. This is our judgment-free zone, and I'm going to explain a little bit about why it's judgment-free later. I want you to think about parts of your life that are messy, parts that you probably don't share too often. I'll share a little bit of a story with me. One of my early team members, she wasn't getting any customers. And we were a little bit concerned because she was doing all the right work, but it just wasn't happening for her. And I sat down on a call and I said, tell me about your results. Let's try and work out how we can share your story a little bit better. And she actually said, oh, it's really embarrassing. I don't want to talk about it. I was like, you know what? It's just me and you. Let's hear it. And she said she had really terrible warts on the bottom of her feet before she started this business. And she tried everything over years and years. And when she got on this product, she actually started to notice that her warts were healing. This is something that she hadn't told anybody. It was just her partner that knew about, but she was really quite ashamed about it. It's obviously not something that, you know, she felt comfortable talking about, but she had amazing results. Now, we did a little bit of coaching around that, and we managed to get her up sharing her results. Want to know how many customers she got in the next 3 weeks? 17. 17. Now, I will remember that story forever because it finally was the aha moment for her to say, you know what? Because she was holding herself back, because she was making it all about her, because she was terrified to share the mess, she wasn't actually sharing a message. And when she did put herself aside, she got out of her head and she put it up and said, hey, this is what was happening and this is my results now. She actually got some amazing customers who went on to have amazing results of their own, right? So when we deconstruct this, I want you to start thinking about, where's my mess? Where's the under the covers stuff that I'm probably not talking about And how can I get better at being a little bit more vulnerable of including that in my story? Because I'm going to give you a call to action after this, and I'm going to go about and I'm going to try and find as many as I can. Do you want to take her back? No, she's all right. So let's have a look. You can either start with the business or you can start with the product. I want you to tell me or write down. You right? Come here. What was your pain before you started? Let's do business first. What was your pain? Money. I love this. Loneliness. Oh, that's a big one. I can feel the emotional in that already. You're broke. You're bankrupt. So mine, I'm going to write mine up here. I was broke. I was living week to week. I was in a toxic relationship. Right? I literally was struggling. Now, they're all things that people can relate to, right? They're all things that a lot of people can relate to. At some degree, I'm loving this because I'm seeing a lot of vulnerability come out in the messages now, which is amazing. You know what? When I asked you about what the benefits of this business were, these weren't your go-tos, were they? It was all the fluffy crap, all the nice, oh, we could sprinkle this over and no one will look at me. This here, all this stuff, this is the magic of your story, right? Now, one thing that I really want to encourage you, there's going to be a story in your life, just a little micro story that I want you to include in your story. So for me, some of you guys may have heard, one of my biggest pain points, and actually the moment that I decided to go back to Lauren and say, tell me more about this thing that you've got online, was I was working all week. For those of you who know my story, you know I had a dance studio at night, and I was also doing family daycare during the day using my degree because I wasn't making enough in my traditional business. Now, I was literally moving my kids from pillar to post so that I could get to these obligations to make money. Now, at the end of the week, when I had my one day to spend with them, my daughter came home from school on that Friday and said, you know, it's Lucy's birthday tomorrow, which was her best friend at the time, and Kate wants to take me to putt-putt, which was Lucy's mum. So much information, right? But it was literally Harper, my eldest, who at the time was maybe 5, saying, I need $50 so that I can go to my best friend's birthday party. Now, I was living as a single mum on less than $50 spare every week. So I couldn't just pass that over to my 5-year-old and say, hey, yeah, off you go and have fun. I had to turn around and say to her, I'm so sorry, babe, but we can't afford that this week. And just watching the confusement in her eyes of, you're at work all week, you're away from me all week, and now you still don't even have enough money? And that was literally the penny drop moment for me. That was my lesson. I can't do this forever. If I don't change, nothing's going to change, right? Now, when I share that story, that little snippet of a story inside my story, hi, baby, go to sleep now. Be good. I all of a sudden get people's respect, right? Because there's been times where they've had to tell their kids no. How many other mums on here have been at a stage where they had to tell their kids no because they couldn't afford something? Feels shitty, right? Sucks. Yeah, so you've instantly got that person's emotional investment. The emotional engagement is there. So when you're thinking about your pain, I want you to think of a little micro story that you can really start to amplify, that's relatable, that gets people thinking, that gets people liking you better at a deeper level, and also trusting you, all right? Now, I want you to think of your lesson. At what stage did you go, you know what, this is it? I am not doing this anymore. Because there will be. Right? For me, it was that moment. I realized I just couldn't do this anymore. And if I didn't change, my life was going to be this way for the rest of my life. I was going to teach my kids these same values and they were going to go to work for nothing. Right? So I want you to think of, when was your lesson? Then the opportunity. How did you come across the opportunity? Like, I loved Amira's, and that was her little micro story in the story, right? She was sitting on the couch on the phone to Women's Refuge when she come across this opportunity. Do you know why I love that line in her story? Because it literally combats any other objection that that other person might have, right? Because they might be saying, you know, now's not really a good time. Mate, she's on the phone to Women's Refuge. Why was your time not ideal? Because nobody comes into this at an ideal time. There's always something going on in the background that's making you want more, that's making you hungry. Oh, I love that, Mirren. Do you know how that is amazing? Because that can really shift so much skepticism from so many mums, because there's so many mums out there that want to tuck their babies in at night or pick them up from school or drop them off to school. You know, like those things that you think aren't important are really, really powerful. So how did you come across the opportunity? Because that is part of your story as well. And now the triumph. Some of us are going to have amazing triumphs that look really great on paper. Some of us are going to tell themselves they don't have a triumph yet, right? And I want to mess with that, because you do. Your triumph was signing up for this franchise. Your triumph was what you're going to create, what you're excited for. All right, you take people with you on your triumph. You talk about what you want to create in the future, what's to come, what you're excited to build. You start to dream. We go back to Linda's Dream Keeper, right? What can we actually start to roll with to get people thinking, holy moly, this might be it for me as well? Because if you're sharing your vulnerability and they're engaged emotionally, they're already thinking of, well, maybe I can do this. All right. Now, remember, there's nothing about the product up here. It's solely business. Then if we shift down to here, I want you to do the same with the product, right? What pain were you in before this came across? Now, for me, I never wanted fruits and veggies in a capsule. If anything, when Lauren explained it to me, I was like, oh, that's what you sell. That's what you make a living from, right? Okay. I was not a health freak. So when some people come and they share their story, and they start off trying to blend them all together, and they're saying, I just wanted to help people with their health. Me, this is what would have happened. I'll look after my own health, thanks. That was my whole idea. I was in survival mode, keeping my head above float. I did not want to go out and help other people with their health. Sounds selfish, but that's where I was at, right? What Lauren got me with was the fact that she makes money on her own time. She's her own boss. She can make flexible work choices, because I knew that I had no more hours. So it's really important that she had to differentiate between those, because you never know who you're speaking to. So when we look at the product, what pain were you in? For me, it just made sense. I was not eating enough fruits and veggies, right? My day was so busy that I knew I wasn't eating what I should have been. It's not insane, right? It's not crazy. It's not some autoimmune disease where my arm grew back, right? But it makes sense to people. So don't ever discredit the power once you start to unfold what actually made you say yes to this. And then we carry on forward, right? So I want you to focus on this plot and get one story up for your business and one story up for your product. Now, this is for all the uplines on here, right? I'm going to give you a challenge, and I'm going to get your teams to encourage it as well. We've got 2 more days left of end of month. We've got tonight, right? Finish off tonight strong. And then we've got tomorrow and a little bit on Wednesday to wrap it up. So I want you to choose tonight, one or the other. And I want you to go and write out your story using plot and do a post, right? And remember the message in the mess, get a little bit vulnerable, delve into that pain, get excited by it, and do a post. Go and tell your upline then that you've done it, get them to celebrate you, give them a little high five, because I know it could be a little bit scary. And then tomorrow, I want you to do the other one. So if you do product tonight, tomorrow I want you to do business. If you do business tonight, I want you to do product tomorrow. All right, and have a little bit of accountability. Have a look who's on here tonight. Find some people that can give you the go ahead, that can make sure you do it, because I don't want to get up here and be like, my upline wasn't on, I'm out. No one's going to keep me accountable, right? Because this is how you make an impact. It's not only how you grow your income, but it's how you make an impact to the other people inside your market. Now, this is only one little tiny tweak, right? You're still going to have to do this consistently. You're going to have to get better at sharing. You're going to have to share your story every couple of days. But this is a great way to rip off the Band-Aid and go ahead and do it tonight. All right, so I'm excited to see it. If you've got me on Facebook, screenshot it and send it to me so I can give you a little gold star. But I can't wait to see everybody's stories unfold and really start to go through what you came here for, right? Because the more you uncover this, the hungrier you'll get as well, because you'll realize just how badly you need this and how much you can help other people feel great. So I hope that you got a little bit of excitement out of that. I hope that you loved my mum life juggle. Anybody in my team will just be like, yeah, whatever, standard. But for the mamas out there trying to do this and telling yourself stories that you can't, you absolutely can, right? Absolutely anything is possible. Go ahead and smash the month. I know Adam wants to finish off with something really cool, a quick little video before we go to help a little bit with product belief. Am I right?
Well, I did. Well, I want to first of all say a big thank you, Katrina. Amazing. I think the power of your story is everything, guys, and getting good at being able to share your story. When people ask you what you do, you don't necessarily be in the habit to share what you do, but share why you do it. And there's no better way than using this format around plot. I think, we say story sell, facts tell, get good at sharing your story. Amazing. Even, maybe some of you guys resonated with some of the stories that the girls shared tonight. Just, I know someone like that the idea of being able to create an income might be powerful for them. Sharing someone else's story. Hey, I've recently come across something, love it. Met a girl last night, she blew my mind. Couldn't help to think of you, thought you might be interested, check it out. Doing that stuff, sharing story is everything. The one thing I wanted to share, I'm not going to share a little, we're going to spend some time each week, like literally 3 to 5 minutes each week, sharing a fun fact around our incredible products. The reality is, guys, without the Juice Plus products, we wouldn't have the business that we have. It is definitely one part of our incredible business. It's one big part of our business. Without customers, without people eating Juice Plus. And I think often we don't probably spend loads of time just talking about the power of our products. So I am going to share a quick video right at the end of this. Just one of the videos that I certainly love, that I've been exposed to at conference. Certainly getting to conference is not just a product show, but certainly you learn some great stuff at conference. And a great reminder why I hope every single one of you guys have been able to get your conference ticket now, and that all you're worrying about now is where are we staying, what am I wearing, and who else am I bringing with me to conference? Who else are you guys bringing to conference with you? What I wanted to do is I wanted to launch something and let you guys know something that's really exciting. On the Friday lunchtime, we're going to be holding a very special lunch or VIP lunch with the stars for every single one of you guys that are able to re-promote to senior partner over the next 60 days. That's from May, it's May right now, right? So from the 25th of May to the 25th of July, you're able to accumulate 3,900 points in your business between you and any new team members that you guys can re-promote to senior partner. If you do that, guess what? Your leadership team is going to be shouting you to a fancy lunch. We're going to be doing a fancy lunch. We're going to have all the top earners in the room. We're going to have other guests that are going to be showcased or featuring on main stage. We're going to be doing an exclusive VIP luncheon for you guys. Again, to do that, it is new orders only. So it is about re-promote to senior partner between the 25th of May to the 25th of July. Once you've done that, message your upline APAC leader, maybe take a screenshot of the volume, the 3,900 points, and at least one team member in that 60-day window. We have got 40 spots for this very special luncheon, okay? This very special VIP luncheon. So I'm going to say decide to get this done. It's a great way to build some huge momentum. Get in the VIP luncheon, get your team members in it. It'll be something you don't want to miss. Again, Katrina, amazing tonight. We appreciate you. I'm going to share a quick video to wrap. Actually, I'm not going to share a video tonight because I know some of you guys have got, but next week, we'll get started in the Did You Know around our product. So look out for that. Other than that, see you guys next week. Hope you guys enjoyed another incredible lineup of guests. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Katrina. Thanks, Stacey. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Thanks, everyone.